Anything related to Game of Thrones and Westeros, and I will be there. And 2026 is looking like a very fruitful year for those of us that have missed being in that world. Of course, we have House of the Dragon Season 3, which doesn't currently have a release date, but can be expected anytime from June 2026. But before then, we have a Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, which takes place a century before the events of Game of Thrones and 100 years after the start of House of the Dragon. And the series follows a young and courageous knight in Sir Duncan the Tall alongside his squire and Egg, and together they are better known as Dunk and Egg. Now, Peter Claffey plays Dunk, who is a hedge knight of low birth background, and he travels to Ashford Meadows to compete in a tourney following the passing of his master in Sir Arlan of Pennytree, played by Danny Webb. On the way, he meets Egg, aka Egon the Fifth, or Egon the Unlikely, played by Dexter Sol Ansel, who is a young, diminutive fellow determined to squire for Sir Dunk. He wants to learn what it means to be a true knight rather than a pampered noble. The series takes place during an interesting time for the Seven Kingdoms because while the Targaryens still hold the Iron Throne, they are now without dragons, and so naturally the power and authority that they once had has somewhat begun to wane. While Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon had a huge focus on the higher powers of Westeros, from the Starks to the Lannisters, the Targaryens, and many more powerful houses, and Knights of the Seven Kingdoms delves into the lesser known corners and parts of the world, from the armorers to the performers, the barmaids, and much more, which I'm very much excited for but also intrigued by. The man himself, George R. R. Martin, has written three Duncan Egg novels so far: The Hedge Knight, The Sworn Sword, and The Mystery Knight. And showrunner and creator of The Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, Ira Parker, plans on adapting one novel per season. And so the success of the first season will decide whether we get a second and a third. A Knights of the Seven Kingdoms premieres on January the 18th, 2026, with 6 episodes in total, and the episodes are said to be in the half an hour region, warming us up nicely for House of the Dragon Season 3. I'm really excited by this series. I'm really excited to return to Westeros, but are you? What are your thoughts on the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.